Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and I'm excited to introduce you all to my new talk show called Life Through a Tunnel. This show is for everyone as they will address life challenges we face and how to overcome these tunnel moments we often find ourselves in. It will be on my YouTube page, Life Through a Tunnel. Kindly subscribe if you haven't done so, because trust me, you do not want to miss any episode. Just click on that bell. I want you to remember that hope is the ability to see that there is light, even in the darkness that we find ourselves in. And the only thing and the only person that can overcome that darkness is you. Allow that light to shine bright through your tunnel and you will not regret it. Go subscribe and keep your fingers crossed. Until then, keep winning, keep shining, and keep smiling. Bye. If you don't take care, you're going to feel like God is against you, but He's never against you. One thing that you said that I just want to repeat, it's that when you are going through certain situations and you back out of it, everybody feels like you are the bad one. Because, as she said, you portrayed her to the world that she was this perfect individual. We all have done that, Jonathan. You are not alone. I'm sure that our viewers can actually relate to this. And also with the anger issues, I get angry easily, but I know how to control my anger. It's something that I have worked on. But to disrespect your mom and your dad, or demeaning like you, and bring down your ego and all this kind of stuff, I feel like it was unacceptable. But again, I feel like the mistakes we do, I'm part of it. I'm part. It's when we are with somebody, we try to cover their flaws. So when things like that happen, and then you've gotten it up to here, and you feel like, you know what, I can't deal with this anymore. I can't keep going. And you decide to take a step back. Everybody looks at you like, oh, this person is perfect. You said this person does this for you. This person is always there for you. This, that, da, da, da. Oh, if you are backing out, then you are the problem.
Yeah. I mean, that's spot on, because almost everybody does that. You are in a relationship. You want to let everybody know you're happy, but probably you are rather the source of happiness in the relationship. It's not the other way around. It's not.
All behind your smile.
Yeah.
It's misery. It's frustration. It's regret.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Jonathan. So how were you able to, when you overcame this and you were like, okay, I'm done. Wedding is called off. I'm leaving this East Legon apartment for you. You can keep the car. You can take the bank account, whatsoever. When you hit rock bottom, how were you able to come out of that?
Well, I left town. I went to another city. I met this pastor who actually took me under his wing. He spoke to me every day. Literally, I would just go to him. We would talk. I cried a lot. Yeah, I cried a lot. The kind of life where you had everything, then you don't have anything, and whenever you have need, you remember why you don't have, and it takes you back to those decisions you made. And so I had this man of God who just told me that whenever you feel down, just call me. Even if I don't have anything material, I will be here for you. And also, I would say it's God, because that was when I also, made touch with my spirituality. I had to pray more. I have to study more. And it doesn't happen overnight, but gradually you realize that it's like you're born again. You are starting all over again. and you start to appreciate. I think one way to get out of a tunnel is when you appreciate glimpses of the light.
Wow, I love that.
Mm. Because the lights don't just show up. You are going to start getting reflections of the light. And when you see that, focus on it and move towards the light. Because that's how you are going to get out of the tunnel. But if you still think about how bad the tunnel is and how your life was before the tunnel and all that, you are going to still focus on the tunnel that you're in.
Setbacks.
But the moment you see a glimpse of light, focus on the light, move on, move on. And you are sure it's a sure thing that you are going to come out of that tunnel. Yeah.
Wow. When you start seeing glimpses of light in the tunnel, Jonathan is asking you to focus on those little glimpses that you see in the tunnel. He believes when you focus on it, it's going to give you the strength to keep pushing so you'll be able to come out of the tunnel successfully. Wow, Jonathan. So then after that, were you able to get into another relationship? Oh, well, you said you were married. So then was it easy transitioning into a relationship with your wife? And was everything okay with you and your wife as well?
I stayed off relationships for a while, for a long while. Not because I was afraid of women per se, but rather because I was afraid of who I will become to the next woman. I didn't want to get into a relationship and become a problem to an innocent person. So I had to heal. I had to get over the problem. I had to get some basic things for myself, things that when I don't have in the next relationship would not make me think about the last relationship. And so I made sure that I was emotionally sound, I was psychologically sound, I was spiritually sound, and I was also physically sound to get into a relationship. And I had a relationship, a very brief one, but I mean, it was through a friend, a mutual friend, but it didn't. I mean, the relationship didn't get far because of the third party, I would say. And it is also okay because if it hadn't, it would have also started another tunnel. But I think based on the other tunnels I had gone through, I appreciated I appreciated that breakup very early and decided not to, and I mean to make peace with it because I didn't even want to start another tunnel at all. And so I moved on from that. And thankfully, I met my wife, I think a year or two later, through another friend. It wasn't the same friend. It was a different friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was my accountant at the time. I mean, I was a music director for my church, and he was just like, "Hey, Jonah, when are you going to get married?" I was like, "Charlie, now these girls have trouble." And then he just said, "Oh well, when he was doing the masters, he had this friend who is a good girl and all that. So he gave me the number. I called the number. We spoke, and the first day I met her, I just knew that I was going to wife her. It was just clear. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it was clear. So I told her, "Look, I'm going to marry you." It was a straight up thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you guys date for a long time before you got married, or you just felt in your soul, in the depths of your heart, that she is the one and you went for it?
Well, I just felt she was the one from the beginning. She hesitated. I mean, when I told her I wanted us to get married, I think like if we met in January, I just told her, "Look, let's get married in March." She was like, "No, it's not gonna happen." And because probably I'm a musician, and the life of a musician, you meet people, you are coaching and directing girls, and you are here and there. So, but then, so she said that, and I mean, because of my experience, with other relationship, as soon as she said that, I was like, okay, fine. Then that is it. We are not going to do it again. So I started avoiding her calls and so many things. Then I think after some 5 or 6 months, I called her and told her, hey, I'm still marrying you. and that was it. So she accepted, and that was it. We got married. So we didn't really date for so long. And sometimes it's good actually, because you get to appreciate the beauty of the person in the marriage, and then of course you're also going to see some of the worst things in the marriage, and you have to make a decision. Well, I'm seeing this beautiful thing, and I'm seeing this little bad thing. Is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it. I'm going to keep marrying this person. And I mean, I'm very grateful I married her. Seriously. Yeah.
Wow, I like what you said, that sometimes it's good to not date for a long time, and date for few months and marry the person, and then it helps you actually let me put this down. It helps you actually appreciate or see the beauty as you guys navigate life together and you get to
Yeah.
know each other. Just to add to what you said, my mom and my dad always told me something when I was growing up. My mom and my dad always said that when you have a relationship or friendship, whatever situation you find yourself, you have to
Mhm.
weigh them. You have to weigh the strengths and the weakness. If the strengths are more
Mm.
than the weakness, because no one is perfect, but if the weaknesses, it's more than the strength, start running.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure it boils down to what you were saying. Anyways, Jonathan, that was just by the way. Did you and your
Yeah.
wife go through any tunnel moments?
Yeah, I would like to share that briefly. That was when we had our first child. You know, I decided in the marriage that I was going to be there whenever I'm needed. It was just a decision. Well, I just decided that even if I'm not the best husband in the world, I'm going to be the best husband to my wife.
Okay.
So, I mean, from when she got pregnant, I went to every antenatal with her. Like I didn't miss
Wow.
one. I would drive her
That's
there,
amazing.
wait for her.
That
Um, and life was very good for me. I had peace at home. So
wow.
I think
Peace.
one Monday I had gone to a friend's wedding. He decided to get married on Monday. And I was there when my wife called me that she wasn't feeling okay. So, I mean, I just rushed home immediately. And then I took her to the hospital. So, we got to the hospital and the doctors were like, hey, we have to admit your wife. And I was asked to go home and get, uh, when you're pregnant, we put this stuff in a bag for the due date or whatever. So I was asked to go and get it. And I was on my way back. My wife called me. She was crying, sobbing. Her pains were too much and all that. So I prayed with her on the phone. And then I called back just a moment after the call. I called and she said, she has given birth. I was like,
Your wife
but
had
it's
given
not time.
birth.
Yeah, at the hospital.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, and I got to the hospital. I saw, I mean, that day, about 6 people had given birth. So I got to the hospital and I saw children, babies, bushy hairs, and big, healthy babies. And I was excited because, well, my wife has also given birth. Got there and there was this baby who was doing And it means the child didn't have enough oxygen to the brain. That was how he was actually breathing. So I didn't know he was mine. So I felt like, oh, poor baby, where is the mother? And then I was told that's my son.
I want you to remember that hope is the ability to see that there is light, even in the darkness that we find ourselves in. And the only thing and the only person that can overcome that darkness is you. Allow that light to shine bright through your tunnel and you will not regret it. Go subscribe and keep your fingers crossed. Until then, keep winning, keep shining, and keep smiling. Bye.